I was trying to be somebody who I really wasn't. I was trying to do things I didn't want to do. I tried to dress ways that weren't my style. I tried to associate myself with things and places and people who I really didn't have an interest in associating myself with. Over a span of years, I eventually fell into this very deep depression. I remember having breakdowns, sobbing, and expressing what I really, truly wanted. I didn't want to suppress it anymore, but expressing that, at the end of the day, I was just not seen, not heard. I, again, suppressed everything. And the depression just built up. I was listening to a speech, Jim Carrey speech, and he said, what was the quote exactly? Depression is your body being tired of this character that you're trying to play, or being someone that you're not. Basically, your body is tired of being someone who they're not. You're not being truly who you are, and your body's tired of it. I, at that point, was tired of being someone I'm not. I was tired of making other people happy when I am sitting in the corner miserable with my life. And when I hit rock bottom like this, I found myself asking, who am I? Because I had no idea anymore. I had that version of me, my passions, my desires, my wants. I had her locked away for many years, because I was trying to make other people happy. That version of me was locked away for so long that I wasn't even sure if I had the key for it anymore. So probably like 5 years ago, started that my whole personal growth, self-development journey. I started reading more. I started looking into just doing more inner work, I guess. It's when I started looking into meditation and mindfulness and what that was all about. Looking into Buddhism. I agree with a lot of aspects of Buddhism. Going on this journey, I was trying to get as much information as I possibly can on different elements, because again, I was trying to find who I was. I was trying to figure out who I was. Like, what am I? Who am I? All stripped away without being this or saying this. Getting information about so many different topics and seeing what related, or what I can put in my life, what I connected with, and just building up from there. And I did a lot of this in silence. Wanted to keep it to myself. I didn't want people knowing about it. I just wanted to do it myself, finding who you are when everything is taken away. So I really dove deep into that. I knew what I was passionate about. I love the water. I love the feeling of freedom that it gives you. I always had a connection with the water. And probably the first time I stepped foot in the water when I was little, I can thank my dad for that, because he put me in the water at a very young age, and he really helped me develop a love for the water. And then it just kind of grew from there. But again, all those years I suppressed it to make other people happy. And I don't think that journey will ever end. You want to evolve and look at things in different aspects, and you want to have different views on things. And I think that's great, because staying the same, staying stagnant, I learned is it's like suffocation. You're suffocating yourself. So about 4 years ago, really when I went back to college, I said, you know what? I talked to my husband and I said, I want to go back to school. We talked about it. He didn't have a problem with it. He supported me. So I went back to school. I got my bachelor's in environmental science. It was step one of me defining who I was and building off of that. Because within that time frame, in 2021, I then got certified with scuba diving. And I knew school was going to be the start of opening up something new, but diving was really the start of a whole new world for me. And something I identify myself with is having a love for diving and a love for the water. And that's just me, that's who I am. I was able to unlock it, and I was able to find myself again. It took a lot of digging, and I feel like sometimes I'm still digging for certain parts. And you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to put in the work and read the books and go to therapy. I'm in therapy right now. I go once a week. That's helped me tremendously too. What they say in therapy, I apply it and I work off of it. And she recommends tons of books, and I've been reading tons of books. Really Audible. I've been listening to Audible. It's just easier when I'm working. I can throw it on and I can just listen to it. The main thing I want to get across in this video is you're going to have fear in some way, shape, or form with anything that you do, especially if it's new, right? You're trying something for the first time, you don't know what to expect, you're going to have a fear about it, and that's completely normal. The thing about fear is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. Like when I wanted to scuba dive, I asked a few people that you come learn how to dive with me, because you have that fear of doing something by yourself, something new, something big like that. And no one wanted to. Everyone thought I was crazy for wanting to swim with the sharks. I said to myself, am I going to suppress this because other people are going to think I'm crazy? Scuba diving is not just swimming with sharks. It's the shipwrecks. It's exploring another world, because being underwater is another world. It really is. And it's absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. But no one wanted to dive with me. So I thought to myself, am I going to suppress this feeling, this desire that I want to dive? Or am I just going to go for it and do it alone, do it scared? So I decided to do it scared. I was tired of being unhappy. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I have always wanted to dive. And this was something really big in my life, getting certified, going back to school, being a mom of 2, being married. I had so much going on in my life. To add something else on top of it, like getting certified, people probably thought I was nuts, but I was at that point where I wanted to take a chance on what I love. I wasn't happy the other way. I started to take little risks here and there. And because I was afraid of what people thought. What is she doing? Is she, she's not going to be a present mom if she's off diving, and that one, and mom guilt. Those were 2 big ones. I was afraid of what people were going to think because I didn't want them to think I was a bad mom. Am I selfish for doing this? Like, those were 2 big ones, especially when I go on dive trips, like either a weekend away in Alex Bay or Honduras most recently was a week. I had mom guilt big time with those. Even though they made me really happy that I was doing it, was I being a good mom? Am I being a good mom? Am I a good mom? You have all these thoughts going on in your head. Work through the fear and forget about what other people are going to think of me. Because I know me, and I know I'm not a bad person. I know I'm not a bad mom. You get all these fears and thoughts in your head, and it's your ego really trying to keep you safe. Oh, don't do that because this might happen. Don't do that because this might happen. It's all your ego. My ego is something that I've been trying to cut out. I feel like my ego gets in the way with a lot of things. Like anyone, your ego is there to keep you safe. And who you are, your spirit, your soul wants to explore and do all the things. But it's your ego that tells you, that's not safe. Don't do it. That's not safe. This is going to happen if you do that, so don't do that. You got to tell your ego to shut up and just do it. Once I started to take more risks, I started to feel more confident, and I realized that everything is okay. It's not important what other people think or if they understand it. All of our minds are different and we all work in different ways. This is what makes me happy. I have a huge passion for the water, for scuba diving, nature. I love it. I love it. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in the world. I felt so out of place for so long with most of my friendships in my life, aside from a few of them, relationships, situations, things I associated myself with. And it was because I had that need to be accepted. I had to do things to make other people like me so I can feel accepted. And that feeling, I wouldn't wish that feeling on my worst enemy. Like the depression it put me in, the place it put me in mentally, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. My God, that was the worst feeling I think I've ever felt in my life for a long period of time. And I know there's people out there who have experienced something like this, because I read it all the time, or I'll see other videos and they're mentioning the same things and the same feelings. And like, this is happening all over the place. People are suppressing what they love and who they are to make other people happy. And I want, if anything is taken from this video, I want you to hear this and say, do what makes you happy. Make the decision to take a risk. Just say, I'm gonna do this, and do it. And in the speech, he said, risk being seen in all your glory. And that really resonated with me too, because I was afraid to be seen for so long. Once I decided to take a risk, even if it was a small risk, I felt a little bit more free. I'm like, okay, cool, nothing happened. So then I decided to take a little bigger risk, realize that nothing happened. I had to put my fear aside of what people were gonna think about me. You let fear control your decision making, you're never gonna go anywhere. Your mind is gonna say, this might happen if you do that, and you don't want that to happen, so I wouldn't do it. And then you talk yourself out of doing whatever you really want to do, and that's not good either. I started to feel free from the cage that I had put myself in. It's kind of sick, like people self-sabotage all the time, and they might not even realize they're doing it, but until you become aware of it, then you can consciously make the change. If you're stagnant, and if you stay the same and you don't evolve, that's where depression and the sadness really kicks in. I'm a completely different person than I was 10 years ago. You can't let fear shut down you and your spirit, because your spirit is playful and your spirit wants to do all the things and have all these experiences in this life. You can't let it talk yourself out of it, because that's just going to build up. Then there's regret there too. Well, I should have done it. I should have done it. You know, you hear those quotes all the time where it's like, when you're on your deathbed and you think about your life and you think about all the things you should have done. So just do them. It took me a long time to realize that, to put myself first in some situations. Putting myself first will make me a better mom. Especially starting this YouTube channel. I had a lot of fear with starting this YouTube channel. I mean, you know how people feel about YouTube. I love diving, and I think other people can watch my videos and learn something. The thing that I was scared about more than making my scuba diving videos is starting this Real Talk segment, because that's when you get deep in conversation with certain topics. I'm growing from it, and I'm learning to become open about talking about these things, and I'll put the video up and it can reach 8 billion people in the world, and that's something you have to be okay with. But what I was afraid of is, and I still think about it, I still get afraid of it, what my children's friends' parents will think of me seeing these videos. Or is it going to have an effect on my kids and their kids? Are they going to reach out and make play dates with my kids, or, you know, with me for my kids? That's still a big fear. But with that fear of, oh my gosh, they're not going to want to make play dates, their kids aren't going to want to hang out with my kids. At the end of the day, I still choose to make these videos. When my kids grow up and these videos are still on YouTube, they're going to see, I mean, I had 2 roads to take here. The first road, pretend I never made the channel. My kids grow up and they see me unhappy, and they see me miserable in working the same job every single day and doing the same thing every single day. Or road 2, they see that I got certified. I mean, they know I got certified, but they see a whole different version of me, going after her passions, putting herself out in the world, regardless of her fears of what people might think. They see vulnerability. They see that I might have fears, but I decide to work through them and not let them control my life anymore. What road would you want to take for your kid? Road 1, where I suppress everything, unhappy in life, stressed, anxiety ridden every day, depression every day. And I still struggle with those things because they've been embedded in me for so long. Or Road 2, where I'm going after what I desire, my passions, putting myself out there, willing to grow, willing to be open, talking about spirituality, which I feel like not enough people talk about. All the things. I would rather have my kids see Road 2 version of me, because that will inspire them to do the same. Not that they have to make a YouTube channel. That would be up to them. But to go after what they want, to follow what they love, and to be themselves, despite the fear that they might have of what other people will think about them. You know, I'm sure there's people out there that I know that think this channel is weird and why is she doing that? And you know what? That's cool. That's your life. I got no control over that, and I'm fine with that. And that goes back to Mel Robbins' Let Them Theory, which I read. Absolutely love it. I highly recommend The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and her podcast. It's amazing. You know, I scuba dive, and I love photography, nature photography, underwater photography. I have a lot of work to do still, but I'm willing to grow and I'm willing to learn. Just dump me in the water with a camera and let's go. Like, let's go do it. Basically, guys, if you have a passion, if you have something that you've always wanted to do it. Forget about what other people think about you. They're going to talk about you. It's just going to happen. Let them talk. Let them. You have no control over it. They're going to do it regardless. Just do what you want to do. Don't let fear get in your way, because fear, it's just a way of holding you back and making you feel caged. You don't want to be caged. Everyone has something to offer the world. Everyone has a talent. Everyone has a skill, a passion. And if you don't know what that is, start looking within yourself. You'll get answers. Trust me. I thought that version of me was locked away forever, but I did a lot of work to pull her out. And I'm happy I did, because I'm a lot happier, even though I look like I'm crying right now. I'm a very emotional person, so I cry a lot. Sensitive. I hope this episode resonated with someone. I know a lot of people experience things like this, and I'm just here to say, take the risk. Forget about what other people think. They're gonna talk regardless. Take the chance. If you wanna find peace, you gotta let go of the fear of what people are gonna think. Once you start doing that, you're gonna realize that you feel more free, and you feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and you start to put yourself together again. Yeah, it's a great feeling. Never shut down the playful side of you. Be silly, be goofy, be yourself. That's the only way you're gonna find true happiness. Yes, you can have the life, the marriage, the kids, and the whole thing, but if you're not happy with yourself, that's gonna affect every single relationship that you ever encounter or you ever have, including your kids or your spouse or your partner. I hope this episode helped. I hope it resonated with some people. I hope they can connect with it in some way. And I'd love to hear what you guys have experienced in your life. If you want to share anything, you can leave a comment below. I'll read it and I'll respond to it. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.